The sun sets, casting its golden rays over the bustling streets of Muslim communities around the world. But for millions, this isn't just another day. It's a day of deep reflection, a day of sacrifice, a day when Muslims come together to honor a tradition so profound it traces back to the very foundations of faith itself. Every year, millions of Muslims around the world sacrifice animals, sheep, goats, cows, even camels. Blood spills, meat is shared, and prayers are made. But why? Is this just a blind tradition? Or is there something deeper? Something that ties back to a moment so intense it shook the heavens? This is the story of Ibrahim, known to Jews and Christians as Abraham, the man willing to do the unthinkable because God asked him to. But here's what most people miss. This wasn't just a test of faith. It was a lesson for all of humanity. And today, you'll finally understand what it really means. Ibrahim was old when he finally had a son, his miracle child, the one he prayed for his entire life. And then, God commanded him to sacrifice him. Think about that. The man who spent decades waiting for a son was now told to give him up. Would you do it? Could you? But here's the twist. Ibrahim didn't hesitate. Not because he wanted to lose his son, but because he trusted God beyond reason. And at the last second, when the knife was about to drop, God stopped him. A ram took the boy's place, and that moment became the foundation of Eid al-Adha. Now, here's the question. Why do Muslims still sacrifice animals today? Is it just about blood and meat, or is there a hidden message? The answer will surprise you. The sacrifice isn't about killing, it's about giving. 1/3 goes to the poor, 1/3 to relatives, 1/3 to your own family. It's a system designed to force generosity, to make sure no one is left hungry on Eid. But there's more. The animal's life isn't wasted. It's a symbol. Just like Ibrahim was willing to give up what he loved most, Muslims are reminded, what are you holding on to too tightly? Money? Ego? Fear? The knife isn't just for the animal. It's for the selfishness inside all of us. Here's something fascinating. Jews and Christians know the story of Abraham and Isaac, but they don't celebrate it the way Muslims do. Why? Because in Islam, this story isn't just history, it's a living lesson. Every year, Muslims reenact Ibrahim's sacrifice to remember. True faith means surrender. True love means sacrifice. Many are shocked when they learn this connection, because deep down, this ritual isn't just Muslim. It's a universal message for every believer. So here's the truth. Eid al-Adha isn't about slaughter. It's about submission. It's about breaking your ego. It's about feeding the hungry. And most importantly, it's about remembering that God never wanted Ibrahim to kill his son. He wanted him to prove his heart. And maybe that's the lesson we all need today. let me share something that might surprise you. Take Ahmed's story from Cairo. He saved for months to buy a sheep for Eid. When he finally made the sacrifice, he realized it wasn't about the animal at all. It was about overcoming his attachment to material possessions and understanding true generosity. His family ended up feeding over 50 people that day, many of whom were strangers. Or consider Sarah's experience in London. Growing up in a multicultural neighborhood, she always felt self-conscious about her family's Eid traditions. But when she saw how sharing their sacrificial meat brought different faith communities together, her perspective changed completely. Now she organizes interfaith food drives inspired by this practice. These stories highlight a common thread: the power of sacrifice to transform both giver and receiver. When 16-year-old Ali in Jakarta gave away his favorite piece of clothing along with the meat portion, he learned a valuable lesson about letting go. These aren't just isolated incidents. They're part of a global movement of faith-driven generosity. What many find shocking is how similar this practice is to other religious traditions. Jewish communities perform kaparot before Yom Kippur, symbolically transferring sins to a chicken before donating it to charity. Christians practice regular tithing and fasting, which serve a similar purpose of self-sacrifice and helping others. All three faiths emphasize the importance of giving up something valuable to help those less fortunate. Whether it's time, money, or resources, the underlying principle remains the same. True faith requires action, not just belief. This common ground provides an opportunity for greater understanding between different religious communities. Consider the story of Father Michael and Imam Yusuf in New York City. They started organizing joint food distribution events during Eid al-Adha and Christmas, showing how these shared values can bring communities together. Their initiative now feeds thousands annually and has inspired similar programs worldwide. There's a dangerous misconception floating around social media that animal sacrifice is inherently cruel or barbaric. But here's what most people don't know. Islamic law contains incredibly detailed guidelines about humane treatment of animals. From proper care before sacrifice to specific methods ensuring minimal suffering, these regulations would impress any modern veterinarian. Another widespread myth claims this practice promotes violence. In reality, it teaches the opposite: restraint, compassion, and responsibility. The Prophet Muhammad explicitly stated that kindness to animals is a path to paradise. Modern interpretations increasingly emphasize symbolic sacrifices through charitable donations for those who can't perform the physical act. Perhaps the biggest misunderstanding is thinking this is just about following rules. People miss the psychological transformation that occurs when someone willingly gives up something valuable. It's not about the act itself, but about developing character traits like generosity, patience, and empathy. When we think of sacrifice, our minds often jump to moments of loss, grief, sorrow, pain. But sacrifice, in the context of Eid al-Adha, carries an entirely different meaning. It's not just about shedding blood. It's about shedding ego, pride, and even greed. It's an act deeply embedded in the history of humanity, rooted in lessons from the past that still resonate with us today. Now that we know the origins of the ritual, the question remains: why an animal? why not a different form of offering? The answer lies in the symbolism of sacrifice. In many cultures, animals have long been seen as a representation of one's wealth, status, and resources. For a Muslim, giving up a life, even that of an animal, is a powerful statement of devotion. But the animal is not just an object for sacrifice, it's a metaphor for something far greater. When a Muslim offers an animal as a sacrifice, it is a reminder of their relationship with God. It's not about the meat itself, but about the act of giving up something. The animal's life is taken as a gesture of gratitude and humility. It's a symbol of letting go of one's pride, ego, and attachment to worldly possessions, and it doesn't end there. The meat from the sacrifice is distributed to family, friends, and importantly, those in need. This practice reinforces the message of sharing and caring for the less fortunate, making the act of sacrifice a reminder of selflessness and community. Faith is often tested when it challenges our comfort zones, when it forces us to question what we hold dear. Sacrifice isn't easy. It requires a deep commitment to something greater than oneself. And that's where Eid al-Adha resonates with all faiths. While this practice is central to Islam, the lesson of sacrifice is universal. In Christianity, the sacrifice of Jesus Christ is seen as the ultimate act of love and devotion. In Judaism, the story of Isaac and Abraham holds similar themes of faith and sacrifice. These stories across religions highlight the profound spiritual significance of surrendering to a higher purpose. Eid al-Adha serves as a reminder that true faith isn't just about saying you believe, it's about living out that belief, and that's what connects all faiths. Whether it's Ibrahim's unwavering obedience or Jesus' ultimate sacrifice, the willingness to surrender something precious for a greater good is a theme that binds us together. But it's not just a personal journey. Eid al-Adha brings the Muslim community together in ways that transcend individual beliefs. Families come together to share meals, give charity, and strengthen bonds. It's a communal celebration of unity, one that strengthens the ties between individuals and their collective faith. Now, you might be wondering, how does this ancient practice apply to our fast-paced modern world? In a time when many of us are driven by personal ambitions, material wealth, and a constant desire for more, the concept of sacrifice seems like a distant memory. But that's exactly why Eid al-Adha's message is more relevant than ever. In today's world, where consumerism often leads to the glorification of excess, sacrifice reminds us of what's truly important: faith, humility, and gratitude. Every year, millions of Muslims stop what they're doing to pause and reflect on these values. And in a world filled with distractions, it's a necessary reminder to step back, reflect, and recalibrate our priorities. Sacrificing an animal isn't just about the act itself. It's a metaphor for the sacrifices we make in our everyday lives. Whether it's giving up our time to help others, our comfort to fight for justice, or our resources to support the less fortunate. Eid al-Adha invites us to reflect on what we can give, not just take. The act of sacrifice on Eid al-Adha is more than a ritual. It's a call to act, to make a real difference in the world. It's about cultivating a spirit of generosity, compassion, and selflessness that can transcend boundaries, whether cultural, religious, or geographical. So, if you're watching this and wondering, what does this mean for me? Take a moment. Reflect on what you hold most dear. What can you give up, even just a little, for the sake of something greater? Whether it's time, energy, wealth, or a part of yourself, consider what you can offer to make this world a better place. The lesson of sacrifice isn't just about animal offerings. It's about giving of yourself for the greater good. This act of selflessness, this humble giving, is a message that all faiths and people can take to heart. This Eid, when you see the sacrifice, don't just see blood. See the story, see the lesson, and ask yourself, what is my ram? What do I need to let go of to be closer to God? If this video changed how you see Eid al-Adha, don't keep it to yourself. Share it with one person, maybe a friend, a co-worker, or someone who's always wondered, why do Muslims do this? Be the one who tells them the real story.